Everywhere that you're being called to serve involves solving a very particular problem that your purpose actually answers. So the very reason that you're here solves a very particular problem. So I want to give you a few pieces of that today to help you understand, okay, so as I clarify my purpose and understand why I'm here, how do I then actually start to understand and engage with where I'm being called to serve in the lives of those that are around me every single day, both personally and professionally? Because as I shared in the other videos, that your purpose isn't just because it's not what you do, it's why you're here. It's everywhere you are. You're going to be doing and fulfilling that purpose everywhere you go, in every single relationship that you are being welcomed into. So there's a few things, there's three things I want to cover with you today. First, if you haven't watched the Clarifying Your Purpose video, I'm going to give you one of the key pieces to helping you understand your calling that's in that video. So one of the core pieces of you clarifying your purpose is really understanding the need that you're here to meet in the lives of those that you serve on a daily basis. And as I shared before, the lie of that is that we are being told that we need to fulfill all the needs of all the people that come to us at any particular moment, and that's a lie. The truth is you meet one need that shows up in many different ways. And as you uncover what that need is, you're going to understand exactly what I mean by that. That I'll give you my example. So I'm here to help answer a need for purpose in whoever wants to know and understand and fulfill their purpose. In that, the need for purpose shows up in many different ways. And over time, I learned more and more and more ways of how people demonstrate that they actually have a need for purpose, but it's only the one purpose that keeps showing up that is drawing my attention to go, hey, I can help that person, or I can help that company, or I can help that community or country actually understand why they're here, and then help them start to bring all of what they're doing together so that they can fulfill that every single day. So the first question that you want to understand in terms of understanding where you're being called to serve is, well, what need do you recognize in others? And you want to answer that in one word. So as you've heard me say before, you want to get that down to one word. As you start to dig in that, you're going to understand, or you're going to see that there may be phrases that come. So as an example, maybe you see that or recognize that people need a sense of purpose. Well, you could bring that down into one word, purpose. So the idea here in answering this question is to dig and dig and dig and dig through all the words that come, and don't edit, just write them down. And eventually you're going to get to this one word that sums up the need that you see in everyone that you ever have interacted with, are interacting with now, and will interact with in the future. You can trust that. So that's the first question. What need do you recognize in others? And you want to get that answer down to a word. And then once you understand what that need is, then we can start to uncover what the problem is. So we as human beings, we have a tendency to go after the shiny object in pursuit of actually helping us answer the need that we have, and end up in this place where the need's not met and we feel disillusioned, we feel devalued, discarded, because we realize that we've actually gone after the counterfeit instead of the real thing. Happens all the time. So what we want to do is we want to look at, okay, what is that need that you answer, and what need do you recognize in others? And then get an idea and specificity on, well, what is the counterfeit to that need? So here's an example, and you want to get it down to one word again. Here's my example. So if purpose is the need that I see and recognize in everyone else and in myself, but in everyone that I'm here to help meet, well, what is it? What is the counterfeit to purpose? As I dug down using the same exercise, just, exploring words, and eventually when you hit it, you'll know exactly what that word is. As I looked at that, it's reasons. Reasons is the counterfeit to purpose. And here's why. Because we can create a reason to do anything. That's the problem. Instead of doing the reason, doing something for the right reason, we just create any reason and have no idea if it's the right reason or not. It just seems like a good reason, may even be a great reason, but it's not necessarily the right reason to do something. The right reason to do anything is to fulfill your purpose and help answer the need that you're here to meet with everyone that you have the opportunity to do that with. That's purpose. So the problem is that we create reasons to do anything, and we can create a reason, as I shared, to do anything. So we actually have, when I look in the world, we actually have a reason problem because we can create any reason that we want to. So that's the kind of thing that you want to look for. So here's another example. You may see, so my son, Luke, who you will meet on this channel at some point, I'm sure, definitely in the podcast, he sees a need for joy. Everywhere he goes, he sees that people need joy. And the counterfeit to that he taught me when he was 5, actually, it's quite a phenomenal story, is that people pursue happiness, thinking that it's going to bring them joy, but it doesn't. He told me when he was 5 that, he said, Dad, joy is everlasting, but happiness is fleeting. That was a very profound moment in my life as a dad. And I realized, wow, I need to listen to my children because there's a ton of wisdom there that I can learn from them and share with them. And it changed the course of my life and my parenting and, me being a dad over the years. So in that, I realized through that wisdom that there's joy that we can have, or there's happiness that we can pursue. And what my son taught me and what he's continued to teach me over the years, he's 18 now, is that happiness is an emotion. It comes and goes, but joy is always there. It doesn't matter what you're feeling. You can legitimately have joy, which is honestly what the Bible teaches us, that joy is everlasting. So there's nothing wrong with happiness. It's a result of whatever's happened, just like sadness or anger or, sorrow, anything. It's just an emotion. But joy is this thing that you can have at any moment, not dependent on what you're going through. And that's proven itself true over the years. As I've stepped into getting joy as opposed to happiness, it's transformed my life. So in that, he would say we have a happiness problem, right? We're pursuing happiness where we really need joy. And as you can see, there's work to be done when you need to answer a need in your life. And we tend to go towards the counterfeit because it seems easier, because it seems like, oh, we just need to do this and then we could have this. But the truth is, always, the problem that you're here to solve is simply a result of the need being met. So as an example, as you meet your need for purpose, you get the reason to do anything. As you pursue, as you stand in joy and embrace the joy that you have in your life, in your work, in your business, in the relationships that you have, happiness is a result of that. So one of the key things in this is that you want to take a look at the need and then just dig and just ask yourself this question. Well, what is the counterfeit to that people actually go after, that they pursue, and that it ends up in nothing? That way you can dig into that and get some real specificity in that. So we here at Servant Development, the need that we see for everyone is transformation. They just need transformation to be able to fulfill their purpose and serve where they're being called to serve, us included. So the counterfeit to transformation is actually identity. Identity is the problem that we solve. We have an identity crisis in the world, and we have for a very long time, and it just keeps compounding itself. But as people understand their purpose and understand the transformation that they actually need, that identity gets shaped within fulfilling their purpose, and they become more of who they are. They understand more of who they are. They can let go of who they're not, who they thought they should be. All of that stuff starts to fall away, as we've been chatting about through these videos, that you get to know who you are, because who you are is because of why you're here. And that is transformational. So that leads me to the third point that I want to share with you today, which is the third question. Well, how do you actually solve it? How do you solve that problem? How do we solve the problem? How do I solve the problem for making up a reason? How do we solve a problem for identity, the identity crisis that we see everywhere we go? How does my son Luke solve the problem for happiness? Well, that comes down to your mission. As we explored in a previous video, there are 3 steps that you take, that everyone takes, that's unique to you, that actually helps you move someone from A to B. And there are key tools that you use in order to fulfill on that mission. And in doing so, you fulfill your purpose with that person or with that group of people, from, personally, professionally, as a company, as a community, as a country. You fulfill that purpose in their life because you help answer that need in their life. And from there, you can actually take a look at, okay, what tools are we using to be able to do that with? Which tools are working, which aren't, which we explored in the last video. So you want to look at your mission. And everywhere that someone has the problem that you solve, that they want and need your help with it, and you actually have the tool to help them use it, and they want to engage with that tool, that's where you're being called. So who has the problem? Where does that problem show up in their life, and do they want help with that? And then thirdly, what do you have to solve that problem and help them move from A to B? Well, it's embedded in your mission. And out of that come the tools that you need to be able to fulfill on that. All right, well, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Obviously, we can unpack that in our frameworks. In the purpose framework, we go deep into that, into helping you understand, your full calling. But that's a core piece of it, that if you can understand what need do you recognize in others and get that down to a word, then what is the counterfeit to that need? That's the problem. And then how do you solve it? It's that mission that you have, those 3 steps that you take time and time again to help someone move from A to B to get that need met and therefore solve the problem in their life. Again, if you need some help, we're here to help you. Just check out servant.tools and reach out to us, and we'll get you connected to the right framework, the right course, the right coaching program to help you walk through this. All right, thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.